media, he vows to bring an even closer cooperation between the two countries to unite them in their resistance against the West. This as NATO members are spending more than ever on defense, more than 2 years into Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Before Russia sent tanks and troops across the border with Ukraine, just 6 of NATO's 32 members were spending at least 2% of GDP on defense, the target figure for the alliance. Now a record 23 allies are on track to meet that pledge.
Allies are buying more and more equipment from the U.S., so NATO is good for U.S. security, but NATO is also good for U.S. jobs.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg speaking alongside President Biden in the Oval Office. Stoltenberg is meeting with U.S. leaders ahead of the NATO summit next month in Washington.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Nearly 75 million people in the path of the hottest weather of the year, with much of the Midwest and Northeast under heat watches or warnings.
Air quality alerts for New York City, Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago in place through Tuesday. You'll get that ozone effect. What can we expect? Well, temperatures decline in the 90s. Hundreds, and it feels like you get to 110.
Fox weather meteorologist Steve Bender. A federal judge temporarily blocking an Iowa law that allows authorities to criminally charge people facing deportation. America is listening to Fox News.
'93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's still early in the week. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending this hour. You're a long ways away from being done with the heat. Cody Moore with the National Weather Service says it may not cool down until late this weekend.
By late next weekend, it's possible with highs in the upper 80s. It looks like there'll be some type of system coming through, bringing a better chance for more widespread showers and storms Sunday into Monday.
You've got highs in the 90s every day this week. It's a ruling that Indiana's Attorney General Todd Rokita calls a win for the state. John Herrick reports.
On Monday, a federal judge temporarily blocked the Biden administration's new Title IX rule that's meant to expand protections for LGBTQ plus students in several states, one of which is Indiana. But Rokita says, don't be fooled by that.
It's a direct threat to the health, privacy, and safety of women and our children. And in Indiana, we won't stand for it.
He says this legislation is a move by the radical left to try and force schools to allow biological boys to play on girls' sports teams and permit them to use whichever bathroom or locker room they want. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Hundreds of new police Dodge Durangos are out of service because of an oil cooler issue.
And we have been in constant contact with the manufacturer. We've not had any long-term sustainable relief from that. Right now, we're having to replace entire engines.
Captain Ron Galavez with Indiana State Police. Nearly $26 million have been spent on the cars, with 219 not currently running. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Staying mild in the forecast for tonight, low temperatures in the mid-70s. Tuesday afternoon into the evening, pop-up showers and storms possible. High temperatures in the low 90s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Will you be the one? This summer, Shepherd Community will spend hundreds of hours with 200 kids, learning, adventuring, and experiencing life-transforming relationships. Help us make a difference for one child. For just $28, you can impact a child for one day at Shepherd. One moment, one relationship can make a difference in the life of a child. You can be the one. Visit shepherdcommunity.org/be-the-one to give today. That's shepherdcommunity.org/be-the-one.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Our patients' most common regret statement? I just wish I would have done this sooner.
Find out more at AdventKnows.com because breathing well will help you live better.
Reach your fitness goals in 2024 with the 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
Tony Katz.
It's Kendall and Casey, the Amber and Nigel show.
All right, well, when does your show start? Do we know? I feel like I've been promoting this for 9 years now.
This is the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Good evening, Indianapolis. This is not Tony Kinnett. This is Ethan Hatcher filling in, joined by producer Allison on the board. And we got a lot to get into tonight. So first, your quick news roundup.
News on the march.
Over the weekend, Biden appeared at a fundraiser with Barack Obama, and as usual, the president appeared to be dazed and confused, regularly slurring his words, rambling incoherently, and having to literally be led around by the hand from his former running mate. Donald Trump has capitalized on the fragility on display, releasing a blistering campaign ad featuring a slew of Biden gaffes ahead of the debate at the end of the month. And also, a California community is celebrating an end to their no U-turn signs, heralding their removal as a victory for the 2S LGBTQIA plus constituency in their district. Hear these stories and more for the show tonight, and that was your quick news roundup.
News on the march.
President Biden appeared at a glitzy fundraiser in Los Angeles over the weekend with Barack Obama and George Clooney, of all people, raising more than $30 million in the process. And, you know, I was trying to think of an analogy of how to describe Biden. And producer Allison, have you ever watched the original Indiana Jones trilogy, especially The Last Crusade?
Yes.
Okay, Joe Biden looks like he made it to the Grail room and he chose poorly. Right?
That's a good, yeah. That's good. I could see that.
And so they shambled him up onto the stage, and he's just as incoherent as ever. Check this out.
Well, guess what? It's growing. The economy's growing. People doing better. We have the highest unemployment, the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. We have more people. We've had over 15 million people brand new hired into the workforce. You know, my son says we all have various short-term descriptions for your jobs, for what you accomplish. And you should say Joe Jobs.
I'm particularly glad that these lovely children were here today to hear that speech. Not only was it authentic frontier gibberish, it expressed a courage little seen in this day and age.
And at the end of that, Barack Obama, he's nodding along, and he's like, yeah, there you go, Joe. One of my favorite quotes from the Obama administration was, never underestimate Joe Biden's ability to F things up, which is more prescient now than ever before. But I want to play a little game with producer Allison and see if you can read along with the president and make sense of what he's trying to say. On the count of 3, we'll see if you can read along. I got the transcript from whitehouse.gov. The official transcript. Okay.
Oh boy.
So on 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
You know, my son says you ought to have. We all have very short-term
descriptions for your jobs. For what you accomplish. You should say Joe Jobs.
And
there you go.
This is the best we can do. Although some theorize that depending on how Joe Biden performs at the debate, the Democrats could still switch him out. You know, we could see Gavin Newsom get tapped in, or maybe Michelle Obama, as far-fetched as that may seem. But Alex Wagner thinks that it's very unfair. This is a MSNBC host, by the way, who thinks it's very unfair that Joe Biden, well, he's just being held to a higher standard
This is all thrown into sharp relief when the two men are on stage debating, right? And it already feels like, the first presidential debate is set for June 27th. It already feels like the bar that is set for Biden to clear is so much substantially higher than the one Trump has to clear, which is literally, is he alive? Is he standing? Are the words coming out of his mouth? Setting aside what the words actually are. And I wonder if there's any way for Biden to overcome what seems like a structural disadvantage on, in the weeks leading up to what's going to be a pretty important inflection point in this campaign.
Yeah, Alex, I think that's an important question. We don't know the answer yet. The challenge with running against Trump for Biden is that it's not really a head-to-head contest in which they're both being judged by the same terms.
I think I can smell shite. Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
In any other circumstance, Joe Biden would be laughed out of the room. It's time for Grandpa to retire. He's shambling along. He frequently has gaffes like he did last week.
She knows so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured.
No offense, but you are a stupid ass.
And that weakness is being exploited and put at the forefront, which it should be, by the Trump campaign, who's made an ad out of this.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. She knows so long as she is denied, our freedom can never be secured. We'll never forget lying around, and that's him lying around, actually. It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Sad. Very sad. Sad.
That is an effective Trump ad. If he just plays that on repeat or variations thereof, like build a little library, build a collection of Biden gaffe montages, and you could totally win the presidency. Just stop talking about, the election was rigged and, the rest of the Trump drama and the sideshow, and just focus on how inept the president is. And that's a winning proposition. That in and of itself. Joe Biden projects weakness on the national stage and on the international stage, which has greatly endangered the lives of Americans, as it did in Afghanistan, which cost the lives of dozens of Marines, as well as hundreds of lives of Afghanistan civilians, including former Afghanistan aid workers who had worked with us, who had supported the United States government, and due to Joe Biden's weakness, they had to suffer. He invited the attack on Ukraine when he literally said that the United States would not respond militarily if a minor incursion were to occur. Because of his weakness, I feel it's destabilized the stability in the Middle East, which Donald Trump had actually done a significant amount to help secure. And then now we have conflict embroiled in Gaza with Israel. Problems compounded on problems brought on by a weak president, and the Democrats are being forced to grin and bear it, at least for the time being. And we'll see what comes of the debate. I believe it's going to be held on the 27th. Isn't that right, producer Allison? Yeah. I believe it's the 27th this month. And either way, depending on his performance, Democrats, I suppose, might have an out by the time the convention rolls around. First time in a long time that the debate will be held before the convention. It is on the 27th?
Yes, 27th on CNN.
Haha, look at that. Big brain. Got it right. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. Stay tuned for more. Of course, another monumental news item from over the weekend was Micah Beckwith's underdog victory at the Indiana Republican State Convention, winning by a slim margin, 51% of the vote, just a few dozen delegates, but that's all he needed to become the lieutenant governor nominee. But is this going to be the best for Hoosiers, or will it present them a unique opportunity. We're going to have a conversation about that with friend of the show, Rob Kendall, coming up next. Stay tuned for that.
Right now, you get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Getting quality, affordable windows is a really big deal. They've extended their sale, giving you 50% off all windows along with 0% interest for 5 years. Plus, when you schedule an estimate now, you'll get a bonus 10% off. Are your old windows ready to handle the summer heat? If you're tired of paying high utility bills for air conditioning this summer, your windows aren't efficient, and that's a big deal.
And with Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you can replace your windows and save a big deal too. Hurry, this is only for this month. Get 50% off all windows plus 0% interest for 5 years. You also get bonus savings if you schedule your appointment today. This sale ends June 30th, so time is a factor. No obligation in-home estimates with the pros at Window Nation. Schedule it right now. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
If you're looking for a deal that cannot be beat, get over to the friendliest folks you'll ever meet. Hey, it rhymed. Andy Moore Ford. The commercial truck center is currently undergoing big changes, which means bigger and better things for you coming soon. Stop by today, right there on Main Street in Plainfield, and get more savings, more selection, and more for your trade only at Andy Moore Ford. You're going to love it, and you'll see why other drivers love it too. You ready to go electric vehicle? Andy Moore Ford is the EV headquarters. Check out the Mustang Mach-E, the E-Transit, and that F-150 Lightning. All in stock with more arriving daily. And say hello to more rebates, federal and state incentives. You could save more on your EV purchase. Plus, with updated federal regulations, you can claim up to $7,500 instantly on site. We're talking about saving more with Andy Moore Ford. Your next car, your next truck. Talk to them about service as well and your electric vehicle. 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield or online at Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Whatever happened to Tony Horton, the guy who created the revolutionary P90X?
2017, I was knocked down. A very rare type of shingles that went straight into my brain. My body was completely wasting away. I started researching everything related to building my muscle back again. That's when I learned about the potential of HMB plus vitamin D3 and what they can do when it comes to helping build new muscle.
So Tony developed high-impact protein by Power Life.
Just add 1 scoop of high-impact protein to a glass of water or your morning smoothie and enjoy the effects of that boss molecule and factory worker combination. Reshaping your body each and every day. More energy, burn more fat, and probably drop a few pounds along the way.
High-impact protein by Power Life is a tasty once-a-day powder that comes in either whey or plant protein. Go to mypowerlife.com and use code TONE to save 30%. Tony even offers a 90-day guarantee. Go to mypowerlife.com or text TONE to 511-511. Text TONE to 511-511 today. All individuals are unique. Your results can and will vary. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
When it comes to your well, preventive maintenance is the key to reliable water. Right now, C&J is offering a comprehensive bacteria test for only $125, so you'll know if your well water is safe. But wait, there's more. For only $75 more, you can combine the bacteria test with C&J's annual 6-point inspection for only $200. Wow! If it's been a while since you've cleaned the well, you can save $500 on that too. C&J Well Company, they're local, they're exceptional, they're affordable. 317-852-WELL.
Nameless Catering celebrates 10 years of business this summer. A lean beginning with just $500 in startup cash and a 200 square foot kitchen in Fountain Square. Nameless Catering has grown to be one of the biggest and best caterers in Indiana, serving weddings and events from 30 guests and on up to 30,000. Nameless Catering can handle it all. Reliability, great communication, and exceptional food keep Hoosiers coming back again and again. Check out namelesscatering.com.
This hour on WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
This is the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Good evening, Indianapolis. Ethan Hatcher in for Tony Kinnett this evening. And today I had a conversation with Rob Kendall about in for Tony Kinnett this evening. What? We're good now? Okay. Technology, anyway. So I had a conversation with Rob Kendall earlier this afternoon about the incredible opportunity that was presented by the underdog victory of Micah Beckwith at the Republican convention this weekend, and Rob Kendall feeling very optimistic.
For the first time now, and I've been here almost 8 years, we now have a chance as conservatives and liberty-minded people to have a voice in the State House who will listen to us. Now, is Micah Beckwith's election going to be a magic bullet? No, of course not. But I think that we now have, and having had a rather interesting altercation's the wrong word, back and forth with Mike Braun on Saturday at the convention in the lead up to the actual vote itself, which was very nice, and he was very respectful, and I was very respectful of him. But we had a passionate back and forth. I think this is a guy in Braun who will be reasonable and will listen and will get the message about what happened on Saturday, and that conservatives and liberty-minded people and people who, like you, who want fiscal responsibility and lower taxes and more responsible taxation are going to have an opportunity they've never had before.
You got to give me a blow-by-blow of this conversation with Braun, because I'm so sorry I missed it in the Republican convention. This would have been fascinating to watch. How long was it?
It was about 5 minutes. He was. I was working the floor in the lobby before they let the convention delegates in, and Braun showed up, and I just simply shouted at him, "Hey, Mike, what are you going to do about property taxes?" And I think this is really revealing about Braun. He didn't keep walking. He clearly knew who it was. He stopped, did a 90-degree angle, and came up and engaged with me. And we had about a 5-minute back and forth that was, it's like pay to go to the convention. See Rob and Braun get into it for free. And it was very spirited. Braun's wife was there. She was very nice. I met her. Some poor aide who all the blood drained out of his face was there, and he was very nice, even though he was just scared to death about what was going to happen. And we talked about property taxes. We talked about the gas tax. We talked about him printing the money during COVID. I mean, all the things we talk about on our show.
Yeah.
But I walk away from this with that conversation, and then I walk away from what I saw the delegates do, and then Braun's kind of initial response to that. And I will be, for the first time in my life, hopeful that perhaps we will get an agenda. And this is the key. The onus is definitely going to be on Braun to put forth an agenda over the next month or two, so we all know what we're heading into election season with as our candidate, that will address the core issues that you and I and others have been talking about for many years on this radio station. If he doesn't do it, I'm not a blind, loyal vote to Mike Braun. I'm not 100% signed up to be with him. I'm going to vote for the candidate that I believe will best articulate and can get done the things that are important to me, first and foremost, property tax reform.
Well, yeah, and look, if Micah Beckwith is able to use his position of influence as lieutenant governor to pressure, Governor Mike Braun and the Indiana General Assembly to deliver on property tax reform, nobody will be a bigger voice and champion for Beckwith than me, because I believe that Hoosiers should get some relief. The economy should be repaired. It is my fear, however, that it is his religious persuasion, shall we say, that is going to present an issue. And it's not just that the guy is Christian, because I've heard you saying like, oh, well, people object to Micah just because he's a Christian pastor. No. Well,
they do.
Because of the way he expresses his faith. I'm going to be a Donald Rainwater voter. He is a Christian. Are you saying that he is less of a Christian than Pastor Micah Beckwith?
No, Ethan. I'm saying the things.
I happily, and I never have once called Donald Rainwater a radical.
Yeah,
or said anything that he.
But Ethan, some of the things that have been written in the media about Micah are completely ridiculous. Look, I've known Micah for 3.5 years.
He said some pretty ridiculous things.
Okay, but what I'm saying, Ethan, is, and that's fine. That's your opinion. But the things that have been written about him, look, I've known Micah for 3.5 years, and I have seen him as a friend. I have seen him as someone who goes to his church. I have seen his heart for society. I've seen a guy who has given his entire life to the ministry. I've seen him as a guy who does great work in the community, a guy who oversees a large church in Noblesville. We're not talking about radical lunatic maniac people that are attending this church. People act like it's like David Koresh or Jonestown, right? I mean, these are like successful mainstream people who go to church in this place because Micah is a wonderful human being. The church that he oversees is a wonderful church, and they do great work in the community.
And yet he said some incredibly unwise things that are very specifically inspired by his belief and religious persuasion. You had him on, you've had him on your show a number of times, on the Kendall and Casey program, I should say. And this was shortly after the terrible terrorist attack in Israel on October 7th. And Micah was discussing the response for that when he said,
some people might be saying, oh my gosh, killing, that's not godly. No, it's absolutely very godly. God dealt with evil the same way. You kill it, you put an end to it, and then you can live in peace.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
So, okay, so help me again. There's not context that, but he was talking about the Israeli response to Hamas, a terrorist organization,
correct,
killing over 1,000 Israelis, and you're upset that he believes that the
killing is very godly, something that we should gleefully look. As an atheist, I will agree. God's all about murder, including baby murder. It's all over the Bible, but it's usually not so wholeheartedly embraced by a Christian pastor. You know who else embraces that kind of ideology is the Hamas radicals. Allahu Akbar, I believe, is what they scream. God is with us.
Ethan, let me make sure I understand. They believe God is all about murder too. Ethan, I'm going to ask you a question, then you can say affirm or deny, okay? Because this is it blows my mind that you're upset about this. It's
a weird thing to say.
You are upset that an American, of which America has a very close and has a long-standing relationship with Israel because they are our ally, that person is supportive of Israel defending itself and stepping up and rooting out Islamic terrorism. That is not just...
No, I'm upset that he said killing is very godly.
Okay.
That's what I'm
upset about. So you're not
upset
that the U.S. is doing the thing that he said.
I support retributive justice. It is bizarre to me that a Christian pastor would then represent that as being a godly activity.
Ethan, I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. You're not upset about the thing he proposed that should be done, which most Americans should want and I think do want.
I don't know exactly what he specifically wants. He might be for, wholesale elimination, some kind of genocide, which I think would be ridiculous.
Ethan,
eliminate the enemy.
Do you realize how ridiculous you sound right now that you are this hung? I have seen.
It's not just this.
But Ethan, it is. You're upset at the way he said something, which you're saying. I agree with the thing that he
said
wants
that killing is very godly. I think that's a very weird thing to say.
Ethan, you do not want Hamas eradicated. Yes or no, right? I mean, you realize that I am seeing you put a level of scrutiny to Micah Beckwith that I don't see you put
same
to
level
most
of scrutiny that I put to socialist city council member Jesse Brown.
Okay.
The kookiness in politics really gets under my skin.
So Ethan, let's get back to actually what could happen for the Indiana Republican Party, because I think you and I both agree, right? Like, we want the Republican Party to do well. We would like to vote for Republicans. Can we agree on that? I think you and I both agree on that. And I think we both recognize, and we like Don Rainwater. And look, nobody did more for Rainwater in 2020 than me. I got a big old plaque on my wall at home that he gave me. But I think we both recognize Don has really struggled to capitalize on the benefits that he got out of 2020. He's having trouble raising money to even appear on the debate stage. I think we both recognize that while we like Don, the odds of Donald Rainwater becoming the governor are about the same as you and me, realistically.
I support the message, not the odds. And if Micah Beckwith and the Braun campaign present a very compelling property tax reform plan, I may consider changing my vote.
Right.
But right now, tentatively, I'm in the Rainwater camp.
Okay, great. And that's fine. And God bless you. And look, we agree on that from the standpoint of they have the obligation to put that message out that people like us can coalesce around. I've had that conversation. We've said this on our show. I've said this to the Braun people directly, who have been very kind. I've had direct conversations with them. Look, Braun's coming on our show. You know, that would never, ever, ever happen.
No, that's wild. Congratulations to you, sir.
And so my point with this is, I think we have to give these guys an opportunity to produce for the people of Indiana an agenda that we can rally around.
And I have an open mind, but color me very skeptical.
No, and that's fine. God bless you. I think Saturday was such a big message. And I think Saturday was such an opportunity for the party to come together, and not for us as conservatives or liberty-minded people to give in to anything, but rather to meet halfway, and that everybody can get a little something that they're happy about that will create a better life for all of us. And I think this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us and to actually move the party where you and I feel it should be, which is more on the side of the people, more away from the donors and lobbyists. And I think Mike is going to be very influential in a positive way in having Mike Braun do that.
And that will be phenomenal if it actually happens. But in the meantime, you're going to have an uphill battle running against Micah's past statements. It was not just the killing is very godly, but including God sent the riots to Washington, D.C. for January 6th. I didn't say it. He said it. I didn't bring God into it. He did. Listen.
People are disgusted by what they saw, and a lot of people are, freaking out over what they saw, and I can totally understand that. But I was in prayer this morning. We're doing a 21 days of prayer at Life Church, and you know what the Lord told me? He said, Micah, he said, I sent those riots to Washington. He said, what you saw yesterday was my hand at work.
Look, Rob, I am firmly of the opinion that if you talk with God, you pray to God, that's fine. That's religion. If God's talking back to you, that's diagnosable. And the fact that he thinks God sent riots to Washington, D.C. is kooky. You don't think that's kooky?
Do you realize, and you don't because you hate religion, and I get that. Look, you had a horrible experience with religion.
That kind of religion, yeah.
You had something that was not of the Lord.
That's really weird.
Ethan, no. You've been honest with your audience about this. You had a horrible experience with religion, and I hate that for you. I hate that because you had something that was not of God happen to you and you were exposed to. But
they claimed God too, just like Beckwith.
But you don't realize how offensive what you just said is to so many people that God talks back to them. People hear from God in a variety of ways all the time. You're an atheist. You don't believe. You've closed off to it because of your religious experience. And I hate that. And I hope that's not that way forever for you. But many, many people, good people, decent people, they do hear things. And many of those things come true. Many of the things that they hear, God does speak to people in a variety of ways, Ethan.
Rob, yes, I'm an atheist. I've been very transparent about that. But I have spoken to many Christian, Republican, right-wing voters who are also very nonplussed by statements like that, who feel that does not represent their brand of Christianity either.
Okay, but Ethan, your theory is that the public is going to vote for Donald Trump, who, let's face it, in terms of baggage, a couple statements from Micah you may not like are nothing compared to the baggage of Trump, right? We can agree with that. They're going to vote for Rokita, who, again, a couple of statements by Micah are nowhere the baggage of Rokita.
Rokita might be in trouble, too, though.
Well, no, Rokita's not in trouble because, and I'll get to that in a second, they're going to vote for Jim Banks, and then they're going to get...
Jim Banks eliminated any potential competition.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is our ballot in the fall, right? And then they're going to get to Braun, and they're going to be like, well, sure, Trump and Rokita and Banks... But Braun...
No, because the Democrats ran a stinker, but
okay. But
Braun should be very thankful for that.
It isn't going to matter. All Braun has the ability to do is actually get more votes than Holcomb did by uniting the Republican Party. Look, the Democrats are lunatics. Look at the people who are running. Jennifer McCormick is an on-demand abortion lunatic, public education radical. Destiny Wells is an on-demand abortion lunatic. You can't even tell me who the U.S. Senate nominee is for the Democrats. Jennifer McCormick is so inept that Bob Kern is her nominee for lieutenant governor right now. You're going through, and of all Micah Beckwith, you take a couple statements and go, people are going to vote against him because of this. When there's all this literal insanity that the Democrats are proposing as part of public policy. Destiny Wells and Jennifer McCormick are for abortion from conception to live birth. And you think a couple of statements in a guy's entire life are going to sway people when these people are for this on-demand slaughter of innocent kids? No way, Ethan. No way.
No, I agree. I think that is very highly probable we are looking at the future lieutenant governor of the state of Indiana, and I truly hope that I'm wrong about my suspicions, and I want him to deliver strong economic reform and governmental reform through his position of influence as lieutenant governor for Hoosiers in the state of Indiana. Nothing would truly make me happier than being wrong, Rob. And I will be the first to admit it. I will apologize. You have known me for a number of years now, and do I admit when I'm wrong? Yes, I do.
and only time will tell. Look, Keith, and I feel like on some level I'm kind of a mentor to you, and I love you, and I'm just telling you, how many times do you see me step out on a limb for a Republican and say, we should be behind this guy? Like in our entire lives together, have you ever heard me on any sort of state or federal level go, boy, that guy's going to be great. We should really be for him.
And I sincerely hope your faith is rewarded.
Look, what I have seen, and I have seen this in my own life, is that God is real, God is amazing, God is powerful, and I have watched Micah over the past 3 or 4 years, and I will tell you as a human being, he's one of the greatest people I've ever met. He's one of the most sincere people I've ever met, and man, I wish we had an entire state house full of people like that, because I think all of our lives would be a lot better. But I still love you, Ethan, and I think he's going to prove you wrong.
Rob, you're the best.
You're the best.
And I hope I am wrong. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. Stay tuned for more.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indie. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, clinic director of We Grow Hair Indie, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indie, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call 317-522-2995, 317-522-2995 for your evaluation, 317-522-2995, and grow your hair back today.
Hey, Rob, I have a question for you. Very important.
Yes, Casey, fire away.
You want to retire one day, right?
Oh, boy, howdy, that would be frickin' awesome.
We all want to retire one day, but we don't just want to retire. We want to do the things that we want to do without running out of the money.
That sounds like a heck of an idea, Casey, and I hope to do that one day thanks to my friend Bill Demery. You know, there are a lot of financial advisors on this station, but we only put our name on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. We trust Bill to help us plan for our retirement, and so do Hammer and Nigel, and so does Terry Stacy.
Yep, we trust Bill Demery, and you know what? You can too. Bill can help you get more money from Social Security. He can also help you reduce your taxes, generate income, and minimize your investment risk. So call Bill for your free retirement analysis at 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Summer storm season is in full swing here in Indiana. The rain, the wind, the madness of it all. When the next storm hits and causes wind and hail damage, there's no need to worry. Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com is here to help with all your roofing and siding repairs every single time. See, they did the joke again. I love that. Moss Roofing offers free inspections and expertly guides customers through the often frustrating insurance process to ensure the best experience possible. That's why Moss Roofing is your trusted Indianapolis roofing and siding contractor. Talk to Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. 317-747-3665. Your roofing and siding professional is just one phone call away. Moss Roofing, 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Diamonds Direct has done it again. This month only, get ready for an offer you can't resist. Buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right, a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet will not last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
When life spells heartburn, how do you spell relief? R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
What about when life spells fried chicken?
R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Fourth cup of coffee?
Still R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Extra cheesy pizza?
Rolaids always spells relief. Rolaids' powerful dual-active formula begins neutralizing acid on contact to fight your heartburn fast. So, when life spells heartburn, Rolaids spells relief. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The Phone Ready Quiz from the American Academy of Pediatrics will help you decide if you and your child are ready for their first phone. Go to healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz.
The Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Good Good evening, Indianapolis. Ethan Hatcher filling in for Tony Kinnett, producer Allison on the board. And congratulations to a community in an LA neighborhood as they have achieved a monumental victory for the 2S LGBTQIA+, that's a lot to say, community by eliminating their U-turn signs. Have you heard about this, producer Allison? This what was it? The Silver Lake Neighborhood Council has decided to eliminate their U-turns because of the homophobic implications.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you haven't heard about this. Okay, so well, here's NBC4 local news reporting on the story.
LA City Council members Hugo Soto Martinez and Nithya Raman were on hand today to help remove the signs. They say the no cruising and no U-turn signs were put up in the 1990s to prevent people in the gay community from meeting up with other gay people.
I was also surprised that these U-turn signs were still up. And at first, they seem a little, oh, okay, it's just a no U-turn sign. But when you learn the history of it and you realize that these were used to profile gay people, it's so important that we have these removed.
The LA City Council members say the signs were put up after the gay community began to grow and because there was a gay bar in that area.
Do you think people who come up with ideas like this are literally the unhappiest people in the world?
So they were cruising for sex. Prostitutes, streetwalkers. That was what was going on. That's the activity that the neighborhood found to be objectionable. They were, U-turning and circling this particular block because there was a prominent gay bar and there were a lot of sex workers in the area. And so they put up the no U-turn signs and evidently combating the solicitation of prostitution and casual sexual encounter is homophobic in its nature. They did it. They ended the homophobia. They got rid of the U-turn signs. Now you can drive in circles, cruising for ass as much as you want to.
So I guess we can...
This is a victory. This is a victory for the 2S LGBTQIA plus community.
Traffic signals. Okay, well...
Speaking of the quest for Fannie, Fannie Willis, prosecutor in Georgia in the Trump election case, she doesn't really appreciate how people pronounce her name. Now, producer Allison, I genuinely didn't know, is it really Fannie? Because I thought it was Fanny. It's spelled Fanny. Most people pronounce it Fanny. I swear I've heard news reporters pronounce it Fanny.
I think everyone had been pronouncing it Fanny, and then she changed it to Fawny when she got more in the news. That's kind of the theory I've been hearing.
There was a guy, speaking about my evangelical religious background, which I did have at one time, there was a guy in my congregation named Belignot at one point, and he decided instead we're going to rename it Blignon. Blignon.
Make it a little French.
Well, because he was French. He grew up in South Africa. But it's one of those things where it's like you come down on a pronunciation, you can't change it like years down the line. And anyway, so Fanny, very upset.
While they over there running their mouth, I'm over here paying them no mind. See, I'm so tired of hearing these idiots call my name as Fanny in a way to attempt to humiliate me. Because like silly schoolboys, the name reminds them of a woman's rear.
That's disgusting. Naked pics online? Where? Where did he post those?
I don't know, one of those disgusting ex-girlfriend porno sites.
Oh, those disgusting ex-girlfriend porno sites. I mean, there's so many of them, though. Which one?
Okay,
Which one did he post it on?
Do you know where we can find him?
She says she pays it no mind. I don't know, producer Allison. She's talking about it. Sounds like she pays it a little mind.
I think that's the least of her issues right now.
Right. And what's wrong with that? Things. Most people like big butts and they cannot lie. Yeah. There were songs about
this. It could be a compliment, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Fanny very upset though. Now here's an interesting story coming out of Dallas. A proposition that I actually might be able to get behind when it comes with dealing with these miscreant rapscallions, with these hooligans in school. If your child is going to misbehave, instead of just punishing the child, what if we punish the parents as well and make them take reform school also? This is potentially interesting. A report from WTHR on Dallas.
Dallas ISD is taking a new approach to discipline. Instead of sending students to alternative schools, they may offer parents a class instead. Cole Sullivan looked into this plan and joins us live with how it could be beneficial.
Chris, district leaders say this is a way parents can avoid having their kids sent to an alternative school for bad behavior. Instead, students do 6 hours of community service or Saturday school or peer tutoring, and mom or dad takes a 3-hour parenting class. The district says the class would allow parents to review their kids' academic and behavioral progress, would also give them resources to be more involved and include support tailored to their kid. Education advocates we talked to say this is a better plan than sending a kid to an alternative school.
How did it come to this, America? How did your leaders allow the most powerful nation on earth to die? The answer is really quite simple. Incompetence. Incompetence at the highest echelons of power. We put our trust, our faith, in half-wits.
Now, it is very sad that it has come to the point where parents have such a low level of accountability that they, too, have to be punished somehow with reform or class. But, you know, at this point, I'm all for it. Because a lot of these hooligans, these little bastards running around class, you know, punching teachers, causing disruptions. It starts at home, and it's not getting fixed if you just punish the kid alone. So bring the parents in too. I'm all for it. What say you, producer Allison? I mean, this is an interesting concept if they hold the parents of these rotten apples to account.
The parenting class is a very interesting concept because you're forcing the parent to get involved. I don't know if the 6 extra hours for the student will be helpful, but maybe it's something that the parents and the students need to do together.
Yeah, well, it definitely does. Definitely, because clearly they are lacking attention at home.
Yeah.
So this is yeah. See, so you support this too. This is potentially
there's potential there. I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential in this. So we'll see how it develops. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC, the Tony Kinnett Cast. Ethan Hatcher filling in. You can listen to my show every weekend, Saturday 7 to 9 on Saturday night on The Circle, and find my podcasts uploaded to WIBC.com as well as my personal podcasting page, Saturday night on the circle.fireside.fm. We'll be wrapping up in the next segment, so stay tuned.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The search for the temporary fix. It's led you back there again, in the pharmacy aisle, looking for the new and improved pill or spray that will clear up your stuffy nose. And you'll give it a try because at least it helps you breathe, right? Yeah, it does. And it may work, but it's hurting you more than it's helping. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we've pioneered simple solutions to nasal breathing problems without the pain and inconvenience of surgery. In-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty require 0 surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. There are few, if any, practices that have been performing the balloon sinuplasty procedure longer than Advent. That's why we're a global destination for those living with nasal breathing problems. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for balloon sinuplasty, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell has a great sense of timing, like bringing out Southern Blackberry Cobbler ice cream in time for summer. Rich ice cream with luscious blackberry flavor combined with flaky pie crust pieces and a blackberry swirl. The perfect summertime treat.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Meijer stores.
Hey, it's
Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Robert Kirby reminds us why maintenance is so important.
Driving your car every day, it's kind of easy to remember to maintain your car, but you're not really always interacting with your heating and air system. So that's why the maintenance agreement is so important, that we come out and check that equipment, maintain it, clean it, make sure it's running its optimal efficiency, also to keep the warranty up.
Schedule today at KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's family-owned jewelry store, is dedicated to quality and fine craftsmanship. Let them help you celebrate that special moment in your life. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Good evening, Indianapolis. It's been a great way to start a Monday. Happy that Tony Kinnett asked me to fill in this evening. By the way, it's Tony Kinnett's birthday.
Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo. You look like a monkey. And you smell like one, two.
Happy birthday to Tony Kinnett, and thanks again for inviting me to fill in. A great injustice happened in the arena of competitive food eating last week when local celebrity Joey Chestnut was understandably yet unjustly banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating competition that occurs on July 4th every year. And it's because he signed a deal with their direct competitors, a vegan hot dog production company. Potentially sacrilege, I know, but you can't have a Nathan's hot dog eating contest without Joey Chestnut. Joey Chestnut! Joey was what makes the broadcast, something that was highlighted on a podcast this week.
Like, you have to let him back. Like, work on it.
You cannot have this competition without him. And one, Nathan's, what the hell are they doing? How is this guy not their poster boy?
How do they not match
Give
the
him
offer?
the bag. Match whatever offer he's getting from this dumbass vegan company. Just give him what he wants. You can't have this competition without the guy. Are you kidding me? Who the hell's gonna watch? Kobayashi ain't there anymore.
He retired. He retired his barrel.
Joey Chestnut's not competing.
He is the fucking face of this whole damn thing. They're gonna lose so many viewers. How do you not just be like, you know what? We'll match whatever this impossible meats company is, and maybe we might double it because you know what? You're the damn goat.
He's out of line, but he's right.
They nailed it. I mean, are they wrong, producer Allison? Nathan's could totally afford to outbid the competition. These silly-ass vegans, what'd they give him? I think $1 million over 5 years, over like a 5-year deal. So he's getting like $200,000 a year. Nathan's.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Especially with all that history. And I mean,
you got this.
Yeah, there's a lot more that could have been done. But Netflix already swooped in. I mean, they're going to have.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. Him and that Kobayashi.
Yep. He's coming out of retirement
Maru.
to Labor Day weekend. They're doing a live event on Netflix for hot dogs. So Netflix already kind of swooped up and they're, Nathan's lost their game.
This is going to be supposedly the last Kobayashi thing.
Yes.
Because he just wrecked himself with competitive eating. I wonder what's involved in that. Like, what do you have to do? Because a lot of these guys are so slender. And I really envy that. If I believed in God, certainly maybe evidence of that would be manifested in their divine metabolisms and their ability to process calories, but they got to be like spending hours on the treadmill.
Oh,
what a pain.
And I think they do actually have trainers for exercising the stomach muscles because, I mean, you really have to train your muscles in your stomach to be able to expand.
I'll bet they purge some of it too, like at the end.
Surely.
You would think
I don't know the details.
That's really gross to think about.
But
you got a vomitorium at the end of these competitions.
Oh, boy.
Now, here was another poll that I saw, speaking of hot dogs, conducted by the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council in cooperation with the North American Meat Institute. And yes, those are real things. They have divined that 19%, or about 1 in 5 Americans, prefer topping their hot dog with mayonnaise. Have you tried this, producer Allison?
I have not, and I would probably try it over relish. Unpopular opinion, I don't like relish, so I
agree with that.
I'd try mayonnaise.
I mean, I would sure. Well,
wouldn't it be something I would grab? Wouldn't it be something I would expect on the condiment hot dog selection? But why not?
I don't think the flavors would clash, but nor would they enhance each other. It would be like mixing pretzels with Lay's potato chips. You know, they're both on the salty spectrum.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hamburger, right? I mean, it's a meat and a bun.
Well, it's good, but it's good on a hamburger. I don't think it would be good on a hot dog. Like a little mayo with the ketchup and mustard on a hamburger does something. There's something there. There's something there in a way that it is not for a hot dog, in my opinion. I'll tell you what, you can weigh in on this if you want by joining us on the Tony Kinnett Cast on YouTube and hopping in the chat and letting us know. Are you one of these 1 in 5 Americans who are putting hot dog or mayonnaise on their hot dog? And then also, I have a poll that is up, and you can weigh in on Twitter. Following me at Ethan Hatcher, and you can help me achieve my lifelong goal of getting 500 Twitter followers. Ever since I was a young lad, I told my father, I said, Daddy, one day I want to have 500 Twitter followers. And you can help me achieve that by following me at Ethan Hatcher. Vote in the poll. See, tell us whether you put mayonnaise on your hot dog so far.
Or would you even try it? I don't,
I mean, I'd try it.
I'd try it once, but I
don't think it'd be a go-to. Or maybe it's the best thing ever,
right,
and we're just sleeping on this.
It's true. You don't know until you try.
You don't know until you try. Thanks for listening to the Tony Kinnett Cast, and tune in with me, Ethan Hatcher, on a Monday evening. Tony Kinnett returning tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. And thanks for joining us on 93 WIBC.
Right now, you get bonus